Hurricane Ian is going to be a storm that we talk about for decades.
We got a boat parked in the where the guests check into this high-rise here.
There was 6-7 feet of water within like 5 minutes.
We know many families are hurting. Many are hurting today.
My stomach was in knots. I was kind of scared for my children.
Everything you worked for is destroyed. It's difficult.
My chimney came down. I was afraid it was going to come through the roof and crush me.
This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history.
You have power lines that are down. You have trees that are down. You have a lot of hazards right now.
Lots and lots of damage. It'll take years to recover.
We're committed to restoring the infrastructure as needed. That is not going to be an overnight task.
Also tonight, rare reporting inside Russia. Hear from those resisting draft orders. Plus, what Ginny Thomas told the January 6th committee. And yesterday's market rally wiped out. What sparked today's sell-off?
Live from CNBC.
And pull victims out of the wreckage. There have been hundreds of rescues of people who decided to ride out the storm and found themselves hopelessly stranded by record-breaking floodwaters. And now, more than 2 million Floridians are still without power as night begins to fall. This is what it looks like on the ground in the popular tourist town of Fort Myers Beach, near their Times Square, one of the hardest hit areas. Homes and condos, restaurants and bars, souvenir shops, businesses both obscure and iconic, like the Lani Kai, known to one and all locally, shredded by ferocious winds and ripped apart by storm surge. And this is what's left of the Fort Myers Beach Pier. The concrete deck wiped out along with surrounding buildings. Only the concrete pilings stand tonight. And this is the city of Fort Myers. Large boats washed ashore, strewn all over the place after coming out of the Caloosahatchee River. Before the hurricane made landfall, there were people who told the local newspaper, the Fort Myers News Press, that they were planning to ride out the storm in their boats. The outlook appears to be grim for people who stayed on the barrier island that took the brunt of this storm. See that? This was the Sanibel Causeway. These are the remnants of the causeway and the bridge to the Sanibel Island, and beyond that, Captiva. It's the only way on and off those islands. It's now decimated. 5 sections of the bridge collapsed. The road washed out, buckled, and torn apart. And here's a satellite image of the causeway when it was still standing before Hurricane Ian removed it. Ian's deadly rampage is far from over. The storm has now strengthened. It's now a hurricane yet again, gaining energy over the Atlantic and expected to make a second landfall in South Carolina, maybe Georgia, tomorrow. Forecasters at the National Hurricane Center say the storm's taking aim at the Carolinas and Georgia with life-threatening flooding, storm surge, and strong winds. Sell-off on Wall Street today. We thought there was going to be a little bit of a rebound. Last about that long. Investors are stressing over inflation and a possible recession. That's nothing new. But the company that sparked the downturn today, that's a head-turner. And the Biden administration promising to forgive student debt. Today, an update on how people can get in on that action. Clarence Thomas' wife, Ginny, testified before the January 6th committee today.
Ms. Thomas, do you still believe the election was stolen?
Ms. Thomas, how'd the session go today?
The answer, it turns out, is yes. She does believe the election was stolen. The committee's a new low for a close for the year. And initial filings for unemployment claims fell last month to a 5-month low. 193,000 Americans filed for unemployment benefits. Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, legends who have dominated the baseball card market. Now there's a new name making the list, Mark Zuckerberg. And